Hey everybody, what is up? It's your friends Corey Camp and Brian McGill back at you with another What's Up Wednesday. We have an exciting interview with one of our friends from the UT OnRamps and Corey. And you know, it's back to school season. Corey,
It is.
What's the weather like at the camp household?
Well, we had a good storm last night, which is great. We are now back to getting rain every few days here in the Midwest, which is crazy because this Texas girl is not used to the cooler weather or this rain being a good blessing. Usually in Texas, when it rains cats and dogs for a little while. And so this is a nice it kind of evens out, it balances out. But I will say this is the first week of school for the camp kids. I've got our youngest is in her very first year of kindergarten, hopefully her only year of kindergarten, but she's starting kindergarten this year. And I've got a third grader, and Brian is in fifth grade, which is just crazy to me. I taught sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. And so it's crazy to think that my oldest is going to be in sixth grade next year. But we're all doing online learning, so we are zooming into those grades. And so yesterday was interesting. Nobody cried, which was amazing because that usually happens the first day. Although I was pretty solid as a mom with my youngest going into kindergarten until Grace finally got connected to the Zoom meeting. There were some issues with a password, and finally when she was connected, I had to walk out of the room because it was dropping her off at the first day of school. But I wanted to share, this is my cup for the week. And luckily I have not had to use it yet. This is day 2, so we'll see. But I do have the very big coffee mug. It's as big as my face out to get me going through the week. So we'll see.
How many cups are we at this morning?
This is I'm 1.5 in this one. I think this is pretty much a whole pot of coffee, 2 of these. This guy's just too small to drink out of. Otherwise, my coffee
that'd be a waste of time, to be honest.
That's right, exactly. It'd be done in just a couple of gulps. So
if you're tuning in, go ahead. Feel free to list the number of cups of coffee you are in at this morning. It's a busy week in education, and we got to have some power behind ourselves to get through it. I'm on my second cup right here. Though I don't have kids to get off to school, my family of educators, they're all hustling, bustling, getting ready for getting their curriculum together. They're trying to get some of their lesson plans done ahead of time. Teachers aren't really back in Pennsylvania yet, but they're getting ready for the storm, just like everybody else. So I guess with that, I think we should let's get excited for today's interview with Jennifer Porter from UT OnRamps. She is one of the most wonderful people that we've gotten to work with. One of our early customers we met at the Learning Forward. Welcome to the show, Jennifer Porter.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Corey and Brian.
Welcome to the party, Jennifer. We're here to talk a little bit about your program and some of the new things you guys got cooking. Talk to us a little bit about UT OnRamps and your collaboration with TEA this year.
Sure. So OnRamps is a dual enrollment initiative. It's a signature initiative at the University of Texas at Austin. And we were founded in 2011 and really started in 2012 with one computer science course and 6 teachers across 5 different campuses. And it was very small. And last year we had a little over 33,000 students taking our courses across the state of Texas, and a little over 1,000 teachers implementing those courses. So, we really grew quite a lot. And throughout that entire time, we have been collaborating with and in partnership with the Texas Education Agency. And that has been a really fantastic collaboration to work with them, and of course to be in partnership with our districts across the state of Texas. So this year, we're partnering with around 195 school districts on just our main dual enrollment courses that we offer, so that students have an opportunity to experience college before college. And part of that dual enrollment work is offering a distance college course. It's a completely fully distance course that's the college side of that dual enrollment work that we do. And last spring, when just about everybody made that pivot into distance learning, we were, of course, working with our teachers across the state, and we noticed some things that were happening with them, and they were reporting back some incredible things that were happening in their classrooms, or more specifically in their Zoom classrooms or their distance classrooms across the state, as they were making that very, very quick transition to distance learning. And what our teachers were telling us is they were more prepared for distance learning than their colleagues, that they were able to make that pivot. In some cases, we saw that our OnRamps teachers were telling us, my campus is not quite ready for us to keep teaching, but I'm keeping going with my OnRamps courses or my OnRamps students because we've been doing distance learning. I feel prepared. I know these technology tools. My kids know these technology tools. And so we took what we learned from our teachers, or what we were hearing directly from our teachers about what they learned with us, and we built 20 modules to support teachers everywhere in middle and high school and college on how to do distance learning. And we took these 20 modules. They're all available. They're all on demand. And they're along 4 bundles. And of course, I can say a lot more about that, but specific to our partnership with TEA. TEA reviewed all 20 modules, and they said specifically, we would really love to be able to offer these to our Texas teachers. And because we care about teachers and we want the best for our students, we said absolutely. And 5 of those 20 modules are now freely available to all middle and high school teachers who are employed in the state of Texas through you can either go through the TEA website, or you can go through our website and just register for them. If you have an email address that's affiliated with a district or with a charter school, private school here in the state of Texas, and have access to those 5 modules.
That's amazing. And it definitely is something that many teachers are looking for support in. And I absolutely agree. I did my master's in education online through UT Arlington, and that definitely supported me in the work that I was doing. I learned a lot more, so I used a blended approach in my classroom just before I started that program. But being on the student side, the learner side of a distance program like that really did help me in now all the virtual training and work that I do with educators. And so it makes a difference to be able to take some courses like this online. I think there's a couple of things that those who take these courses can get is not only the content and the knowledge, but then again, the experience if they haven't done anything as a remote learner yet, to get to kind of see what that feels like on the remote learner end.
Corey, that's a really great point, and that's an intentional part of these modules. We have built them so that you are, for the teacher's perspective, you are gaining things specifically for your own classroom. We know teachers are so busy, and so each of these modules, the teachers are actually creating or building things for their own classroom. They're taking a plan that they can apply to their own specific context, but through that experience, they are also experiencing their own formative assessment. So in the assessment modules, they're experiencing multiple ways to create a formative assessment because they're experiencing that themselves. So there's a little bit of wearing both kinds of hats at the same time throughout the modules. So they have both the experience and the opportunity to create at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. And definitely, as I've been talking with teachers and I've been supporting some teachers in this work as well, big question is this second course here on the screen, that aligning that synchronous and asynchronous, or that live versus the on-demand experiences. And really what we want to do is we want to make sure that both of those don't work, in their own silo, but they work in unison, right? Whatever we do live should then inform and support what they will be doing, students will be doing on demand, and what they do on demand can enrich the synchronous experience. So that I think is an awesome course. And then assessment's the very next thing that teachers have questions about. But then also thinking about these important topics like belonging and equity, and connecting our community of learners and building relationships and making this learner-centered, because it really has to be. The teacher can no longer be at the center in this type of work. So I think this was a great choice of those 20 modules. What can educators who are eligible for taking these free courses, what can they expect from these courses in addition to the experience and some content around these topics? Is there anything else that you would say they could expect?
I would expect that educators are really able to think about what they need for this initial phase. And by initial phase, I don't mean the first day or 2 days of school. I mean the first 6 months, the first 9 months. Mm-hmm. When we were in development, we spoke with our teachers. I held focus groups. We did a lot of listening. And not only did we listen to the things that were working, we listened to the enduring questions that teachers in the field had, and the real concerns that they had as they continued over the remainder of late spring and into the summer, to say, specific to this module on belonging, equity, and connectivity, as you're thinking about cultivating authentic student-teacher relationships in distance learning, as we know with experienced teachers, because these modules are not only for someone who is beginning as a teacher, but who has maybe taught 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but is perhaps grappling with the new experience of distance learning. The questions that our teachers were posing, and we talked with teachers of all kinds of experiences, all kinds of subject areas, what they said were things like, I think I know how to get started, or I'm not even sure how to get started, but what happens when things start to falter? Or it gets a little bit challenging? What might I do next? And we know that building a classroom community takes more than just a couple of quick activities at the beginning of the year. That's going to be something that you work on throughout the entire scope of the first months, the first even semester sometimes. And that's going to take persistence, connection, thoughtfulness, and strategy. And so the modules that we've created include that in thinking about that entire arc of time. So these modules, as we think about them and what we want educators to come to them with, is not just thinking about those first couple of weeks or first couple of days, but to expect that they can be useful throughout the first semester at a very minimal expectation, and that they can come back to them with increased expectation around how they can integrate them into the experience they're building for their students.
And I think that's important, because that is definitely something that is important for those of us in leadership roles and those of us in the classroom to just remember about, and as parents to remember about where we are right now. We've moved out of emergency online teaching. We have had some opportunity to be a little bit more intentional with our design, maybe not much time and maybe not much training just yet. So we're still maybe building a little bit of this as we go, but we understand that this is iterative, right? Where I can identify a few things that I can do that's going to be the most immediate of need, and I constantly should be reflecting and talking to others and learning as I go and refining as I go. So I love that the courses are built around that intent, and it's not just getting started the first 2 weeks. Those are important, but educators really do need that. How do I think about this as a long game and work towards that? That's awesome.
Exactly. In that aligning to synchronous and asynchronous experiences, for example, there's a segment in there to think about your technology tools in relation to the learning outcomes that you have. So obviously, as your learning outcomes continue to evolve over the course of several months and as an increase over the complex time frame of your course, you're going to come back and think about what additional technology tools might I want to add that align to these learning outcomes.
Right.
So for the reflective practitioner, especially coming back to these modules to think and rethink and reevaluate how you are continuing to grow your practice, especially in this new way of thinking about things, we hope can be especially helpful.
Yeah, like you said, everyone really feels like a new teacher in this realm this year. So we're all in it together. Brian?
Well, this is all really, really exciting stuff. Just remind me real quick, where should the people go to access this?
Sure. So the easiest place to begin is our website, which is onramps.utexas.edu. And from there, you can do a couple of different things. On the very first page, there's a link that will take you into the distance learning catalog. And if you would like, you can watch a full webinar about the modules themselves, as well as the full distance learning catalog. So you can see a bit of a preview of each of the modules, as well as a direct link into how to register for the free modules and the full distance learning catalog. There is a full distance learning catalog that's the additional 15 modules, so you can get access to the full 20 modules if you would like. And there's ways to do that. You can email us at dlc@austin.utexas.edu if you want to chat about that. But again, I would say, Brian thinks the best way to begin is at our own website, which is onramps.utexas.edu. And then you'll go to the catalog itself, which has the 5 free modules. Register for one of the free modules if you're a middle or high school teacher, and make sure that you use your affiliated email address with your work location. We'll be scanning for some of those, although we love Gmail, Yahoo, and even AOL, we're going to be scanning for some of those to pull those out because we want to make sure this is a resource offered in partnership with TEA to our middle and high school Texas teachers. And then from there, you can register for one and you can register for the other 4, complete them. You would get an hour of CPE credit and a certificate to demonstrate that you have completed the module. Every module has a competency-based framework. So there's at least some sort of a template that you can complete, an activity, but additionally a short completion assignment to indicate that you've completed that module and you've earned that 1 hour of CPE credit. If you are in Texas, these modules can support teachers in completing the synchronous and asynchronous training requirements. So that's an additional component for districts and campuses to give some consideration to as well.
Mm-hmm. And Jennifer, if we have some of our educators who are not in Texas, is there a way that they can still register for these courses?
Yes, they can take access through the full distance learning catalog, which on that page that you showed previously, Corey, there's a template there that has the multicolor boxes. So they can click there and have access to all 20 modules. And anybody who's outside of Texas, you could always email us at dlc@austin.utexas.edu, and we can work with you for your campus or for your district to offer you, a bundle series or a theme series. The modules are built on 4 different themes, as we've kind of referenced as we've been talking today. There's a theme on belonging. There's a theme on learner-centered course creation and design. There's a theme on transforming learning with technology tools. And there's a theme on authentic assessment in online learning. And each of those has 5 modules in each of those themes. So we can work with you on developing bundle solutions or offering the full catalog to teachers across the nation. And we are excited about the opportunity to do that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, yeah, we will put the email for anybody who is not a Texas middle school or high school educator. We'll put the email that Jennifer referred to in the comments, so you can email them from that. Jennifer, this is amazing. I'm so excited about this opportunity, especially for all of my home state Texas teachers. It seems like it's just going to be exactly what they need to get going for this year. And I love that it's that competency based and there's that last assignment to get some feedback. So I think that's pretty amazing. I know it's going to be very successful.
I hope so. We really wanted to provide this in service to our statewide community. We believe in teachers. We know they are working hard, and we know our school district partners, administrators, and campus leaders are as well. So we're just really honored to be able to provide a resource that we think can be helpful in this mission across the state and really across the nation to serve our students in the best ways possible.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Well, thanks, Jennifer, for joining the show. We hope to have you back to maybe some point later in the year, or we're really proud of your program and all the things that you're doing to support teachers and their development. And this is just another way that you reach them. Thank you for your help.
Anytime, I'd be happy to come back. We've loved partnering with SIBME, and those 1,000 teachers last year and 1,300 this year are all using SIBME as a reflective tool to improve their own practice. And so it's something that we have really felt that everybody has benefited from. So I'm glad that we were able to be here and speak with you too.
We're happy to have you part of the community. We can't wait to see what you guys do this year.
All right,
we'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jennifer. Bye-bye. All right, Brian, how amazing is that opportunity? I just think that is awesome, getting to partner with TEA in that way and offer all of that amazing content for our teachers. Absolutely what they need.
That's exactly what they're going to need this year. And I think that this is going to help them with their all the things that they've got to do as they transition from teaching in brick and mortar classrooms to distance learning. And I think that this is a great example of that.
Yeah. And even if our educators are able to start in person, half of my district is doing in-person learning this year, and they're still being very proactive, which I think we all need to be. Even if we have the ability to start in person, we still should be doing more blended approaches to learning, using more technology, so that in the what seems like an inevitable circumstance that we might have to go back to remote teaching in those districts, that students are ready. They already know where their online coursework is, and they've had experience connecting to those meetings. And so definitely a proactive approach for these courses, even if your district is starting in person this year. All right, it's time for our favorite segment, the shout outs. You ready for some shout outs today, Brian?
Let's do it. Shout it out. Shout it out. Shout it out.
Today, we are giving a big shout out to our partners, Explore Learning. I don't know if this graph means much of anything to many people who aren't SIBME subscribers, but just you can see by all of the colorful squiggles, there's a lot of activity. And this is all just really over the summer months. Explore Learning has a ton of activity that happens in the summer, especially this summer, as their folks have been looking at instructional practices and thinking about what those look like in the classrooms of 2020. And so we just want to give a big shout out to them, because we can see all of your hard work, and that we know that this is going to be powerful. Yeah, lots of chatter. Over 1,000 videos watched just this summer, and over thousands of comments across their people, which is pretty awesome. That's exactly what SIBME is about. It's not just about sharing video. It's about all of the other artifacts and evidence of practice to do focused analysis and reflection, and even just to have a space to collaborate with others. This is a space for professional learning. So shout out to Explore Learning for all your hard work.
Let's go Explore Learning. What's up?
All right, Brian. Well, I know all of our friends who are watching are busy this week and in the coming weeks as they're in their first weeks or gearing up for their first weeks of school. So we want to thank you for joining us. Be sure to like and follow us on your social media platform so you can continue to get notifications on all of the great things that we share here at SIBME and from our partners like the UT OnRamp free courses. We love getting to share those things. If you're a customer and you have something you'd like us to share, be sure to reach out to us. But otherwise, we'll see you all next week on What's Up Wednesday.
See you out there.
All right. Bye-bye,
Be safe.
everyone.